Item 5.4, Board of revision to the 2013-2014 district calendar. Dr. Thomas.
Thank you. And there is a motion, I think.
Yes,
but it's not necessary to do that if you don't wish. Right now, our school calendar ends on June 21st, which is a Friday. That would be the last day of school. That would also be the night of graduation. That would be the 182nd day of school for children in kindergarten through grade 6 and grade 9. It would be the 181st day for students in grades 7, 8, 10, 11, and 12. So right now, with all the snow days we've had, 9 for grades 6 through 12 and 8 for grades K through 5, the students would be coming in during the last 2 days of April vacation. Students in grades 6 through 12 would be coming in both days, the 18th and 19th, and students in K through 5 would be coming in on the 19th. So everyone in on the Friday, 6 through 12, and on the Thursday with the last day of school. So that's where we are right now. We do have a little bit of wiggle room. One is we do have a professional development day next Monday. That is a day that is a full day for staff. So that means there are no students in school, and we also are legally allowed to attend school on Memorial Day. We are not allowed to go on a Saturday, or we could, but we can't count it. So Saturdays wouldn't count, and there are no other holidays or professional development days to take between now and then, except for the April vacation. So certainly the board has that purview to reset the calendar using either or both of those 2 days if you wish to maintain a full April vacation and do that. There's a cost to that. One is that April 1st certainly is a week from today. And so by the time we got that notice out, while we certainly would have staff here because they're coming anyway, we have the people such as our paraprofessionals, our cafeteria workers, students who may be away with their families for a long holiday weekend. So I'm not sure what our attendance would be in terms of non-certified staff and students. Memorial Day is probably not the most popular day to take from anyone at that point in the school year. But that is your purview as well. In either of those cases, if you did that, or if you took the April 1st day, teachers still have one then day to make up of professional development, which means it would have to be on either June 24th or Memorial Day. And neither one certainly would be popular. My concern there is that the calendar was set a year ago. And so teachers certainly, we would have to work with the teachers union if the board decided to have them come back on Monday the 24th. But I'm sure there are teachers who have planned summer vacations, as they should, because they did follow the board's calendar. Planning to be here during April vacation if something happened, but knowing that they could leave on the 22nd of June. So I don't know what our attendance would be like with staff on the 24th if the board chose to take either of those days. There is another couple of things. One is, as I said, grade 7, 8, 10, 11, and 12. The board could forgive one day and bring them back to 180, and could forgive all the other students actually 2 days and bring them back to 180, because that is the minimum number of days we can go. The confounding issue here is graduation. And right now graduation is on Friday the 21st, the last day of school. I know that project graduation is set for Thursday, the 20th of June. And they cannot move it, the date of their project graduation, except for probably over a full week, which means we'd be at the end of June. So if you forgave any of these days during April vacation, that would not enable you to forgive the seniors one day at the end of the school year. And I am going to ask you to do that at your next meeting, because you can set the graduation date after April 1st in that year, in every year. So at your April 8th meeting, I am going to ask you to forgive the senior class one day so that they can graduate on the 20th. But I can't ask you that tonight. So that's the confounding piece in all of this, is that even though you can forgive everyone a day of school, if you did that during April vacation, that would prevent us from doing that for the seniors at the end of the year. So my request is that you do not adjust the school calendar, that the board did print it and make this decision last year. It's not an easy one, and I know that it's causing a flurry of angst among parents who did plan for a full week of vacation, and other staff members who did that are retracting their vacations. So.
Board members, what's your pleasure? We can choose to take no action and move on to item 5.5, or we can discuss this and take some action. Does anybody wish to do anything, or do we move on? Mrs. Skolich.
I have a question about forgiving the senior class, or would that be an additional day?
Yeah, right now the seniors are going 181 days, and 181st day is June 21st. Legally, they have to go 180. That last day will be a makeup day for exams. And so I would ask on April 8th that you allow the seniors to graduate after 180 days so that they can graduate on Thursday the 20th and have the project graduation. That group works a full calendar year, raising money and getting everything ready for them. And so even though that's a non-academic reason, I think that it's important to let families know as well, and to allow project graduation to go on.
So you would move graduation from the 21st to the 20th?
Correct.
Ms. Bush.
If the April vacation was taken days away, what would the penalty be for students or for staff that had planned vacations that they would not be able to get money back or something, or if they had personal time that they would be able to use?
The staff has had a full year of the calendar, and so it would be, if they did not come to work, it would be unauthorized, unpaid. And requests for leave are being denied. We do have staff members that rolled those dice to say, maybe this is going to work. And truly, how many of us thought we would have 8 and 9 snow days? So it is an unusual year. I hope this is unusual, that we're not going to repeat this again. But and staff members know that this is an issue. So it'll be both unauthorized and unpaid those days. For students, they would be unexcused, because vacation days, if you took your children in the middle of March to Disney, vacation days are not an excused absence. The state Board of Ed set those reasons for allowing excused and unexcused absences, and we sent those notices home. If you have good attendance during the year, then certainly 1 and 2 days is not going to do a lot. You don't get a warning until 3 days of absences. So, and it doesn't kick in until 10 days of absences, and that's pretty high for most students. So for most families, they will be unexcused absences if they are absent from school.
Will there be any, you said that the staff members will have unexcused unpaid. Will that mean that there will be some permanent mark on them if they do choose to have that unpaid?
Most likely there would be a discipline letter to follow up with that. That's correct.
Ms. Skolich.
So if we do not revise the calendar, in effect, we are forgiving the appropriate number of days, K through 6, and the 9th for 1 day or 2 days, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12 for 1 day.
No, we're not taking if we don't do anything here, we're not taking any action. And the calendar stands, and they will be at school on that Thursday and Friday of the April vacation. Ms. Fisher.
I know how crazy this may sound, but I know we've done this once before where we had graduation on one day and the last day of school was the next day, and seniors were told they had to come in the next day, which of course they didn't, but that did cover. You did?
Absolutely.
Mine didn't. But anyway, that covered the 180 days, because it is a makeup day, and, obviously, the odds of them coming in are slim to none, but it has been done.
Yes, and the law is that the board can set graduation after April 1st and cannot set it any earlier than the 180th day of school. So if at your next meeting you set that date and it's at the 180th day of school, then you're fine.
Okay. So if we don't change the calendar,
Correct.
June 20th is still 180.
That's correct.
Anyone else? Seeing no other hands, I'm going to move on to item 5.5. Item 5.5 is the RHS Community Service Student Requirement Update. Dr. Kumba.
Thank you. I think we have Mrs. Marinan, Dr. Andrews here to share. This is a new requirement this year that goes into effect for our freshman class. And I know this is something the guidance department and the administration is taking very seriously. We all believe in this community service credit. And right now we're figuring out the logistics of it, and they'd like to share an update, please.
Evening.
Good evening.
So we were asked to present the statistics as of this point where we were. So I gave a quick summary of, at this point, just this past week, that only 10 students out of the 220 freshmen have completed their full 10-hour requirements. So that's a big concern for us at this point, because we have put it in there that they would be retained if they do not complete it year to year. Because otherwise you could have 200 seniors trying to get 40 hours of community service in April and May of their senior year in order to graduate. So for us, we tried to break it down each year to the 10-hour requirement. Some of the concerns we've had, I know you heard a parent earlier today, that the concern is that the wording in the document says it has to be the school year. And there are a lot of opportunities for students outside of the school year that would allow a lot of students to get things done and volunteer their time, and even probably more than 10 hours for different organizations over the course of the summer. So one of the questions we would ask is that if we could look at that also being modified so that we could allow students to earn community service hours outside of the school year. So maybe the summer, it would be helpful. Prior to. We gave a list of a few of the places that the students who have completed already, where they're doing it in town. I know that when we came to the board last summer, right at the end of the school year, one of the concerns we have is the amount of hours that are going to be needed in the community to fulfill that requirement. So I put down a few of the things, a few of the places. As we learn of new places, we add new places to the list. You can find that on the webpage. We put the community service paperwork right on the front page. We also started a list of contact people for the different organizations and different things that have come to our knowledge to do. I'm sure that list will continue to grow. And as people let us know, we try to let parents know too, and also let students know. We put out announcements. For example, I believe Skinner Road's Fair was just last Friday, and we put announcements out for the freshmen too, if they wanted to earn some of their volunteer service hours, that was an availability. So some concerns moving forward would obviously be the number of students that are being retained or would be retained if we were to end the school year right now, and what that would mean, as well as transportation. A lot of organizations also need adult supervision. They're not going to allow a 13 and 14-year-old to go do community service hours. They can't just drop them off and let them do a few hours and come back. So it's also the need for parent cooperation and collaboration for them to participate in these hours as well, depending on the organization that they're doing it at. And then obviously there's the logistics. This is the first year with the paperwork and when to turn it in and how to turn it in and all that stuff. So that's something we'll review at the end of the year, just within administration and school, to determine what's the best avenue, what worked, what's missing off the paperwork. I know for a couple places they want to see number of hours and things like that. So we're going to review that as well.
Questions, board members?